Yeah, I was just working off whatever.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is just,
I mean, nothing's really changing.
Okay, so we're gonna start with Brian for the Highway Public Works.
page 10.
Thank you. Yeah, and just for the public, the Brian's, the superintendent of highways, which has its own section of accounts. He's also the commissioner of public works, which is in the A fund, and so we'll go over that section. The highway is in the DA and the DB funds, and this is just kind of an overview. EJ had asked. And I actually thought you probably can answer this. Like, why do we have to peel off and put like a D fund? I've always wondered about that. Kind of
It has to do with Part Town, that
Well, no, we
with
got
the village.
DA and DB, yes.
Right, oh, what do you ask?
I'm just like, why?
DA is general.
Yes, no, but I mean,
DB is fine.
like, why couldn't
I think it's a
highway?
state thing, the
Yeah, just,
comptroller's
yeah, I was gonna
office.
say, why highway can't just be in the A fund?
Because Deering Harbor doesn't pay for it.
Yeah, and so I guess all highways.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hold on, and then,
With
yeah,
villages, yeah.
and the village
Yeah.
doesn't pay for something.
No, all towns that have villages in it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So probably.
But
everybody
anyway,
does.
so Brian's got multiple pages, so we'll
So in
start
the
with,
A fund, we have public works and landfill.
A funds, public works and land, correct.
So if
and
we
a little
go,
bit of highway, like the management of the highway is in there.
It's the 50-10.
okay,
Yeah, we'll get,
all right, so we'll start on page 10, Public Works.
you do a very good job of that, so
Yeah,
sorry.
you did. You brought it up.
It's all good. It's confusing.
I think we do this every,
Uh-huh.
of how we can streamline more of this,
Yeah.
but we never can for some reason. It is very confusing.
I mean, the money's the money, it's just, if you could have a direct line, sometimes it makes it easier to understand.
Yeah.
Okay,
So nothing really is changing. Everything down the line that we talked about in your budget, Jerry, is the same. Except salary, because there is a contract up for personal services this year on the highway side of it.
okay. Brian, if we stay in Public Works, Public Works equipment, we budgeted 12,500. We modified it to 39,400. That was to encumber money to
That was
something we bought.
encumber money for, that was the mower
Yeah.
from CPF,
Yeah.
which
Okay,
is done, bought.
yes, okay. So you had asked for 12,500. I was suggesting 15,000. But if you're comfortable with the 12.5, we can go with that.
The 12.5 should be fine.
Okay. So taking that down, 2,500.
Jerry, just to go up to the custodians line,
Yes,
Brian has 66,000, you have 68,640.
I put the increase in there.
Oh, that's the
Something,
4%?
that's what the 4%, that's something we'll have to discuss, because the way Jay had set it up, there was a fee structure with a cap.
Yeah.
So we have to,
And we talked about this last year because they are at $29 an hour cap, part-time.
right,
And I looked at other towns, part-time was, $20 an hour. Full-time was $15 an hour plus benefit.
right.
It's huge.
Which I think that was the minimum wage.
So I guess what we should do is look at the custodian line. We should look at the longevity and see who's at the cap and who still has to,
Everybody's at the cap
Everybody is.
except Lauren.
Except one.
okay.
Yeah, they've been at the cap for a couple.
That's a discussion we should have is salary structure for the custodians.
Yeah.
Okay.
And can I chime in here, Brian? Andy is a fire commissioner. And I was talking to him about that I would bring up the possibility of the fire department perhaps using, one of our custodians, one of the town custodians to clean up over there. They're losing their cleaning person, and then we would just do, although I make this sound like a wave a magic wand, but we would just do I guess like an intra-fund, intergovernmental transfer to pay for it. What do you think of that idea? Do you have any excess? Do you think you have excess capacity there?
I know Lauren wants to get more hours.
Oh,
She would obviously love more hours. She does a good job.
Great.
So, and I'm not sure how that would work structure-wise with the fire department. That's kind
To
of
do some sort of reimbursement. Last night at the meeting, BJ, it was discussed, but they didn't discuss flipping it to a employee type position. Right now, it's an independent contractor relationship. So I think they're going to pursue that and see whether or not they get interest. And then if, who submits bids.
So if there's no interest, if we do some kind of intermunicipal thing, wouldn't it still be like a contractor for them paying us to pay the town to?
Yes, yeah, we'd have to do an IMA and then reimburse the town for
Right.
whatever costs. But I think the biggest concern is that because it's an independent contractor, they need to have their own workers' comp insurance. It changes, the relationship. So if it's an employee, it's covered under the town's policy. So that's where I think the concern is. It's like, that's an expensive outlay for someone. So we'll have to play it out and see how it goes. I think the bids are gonna be advertised in November.
Okay, but just so I understand, so if we do an intermunicipal agreement, she's an employee of the town, so she doesn't have to get.
Correct.
her own insurance.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So that, I don't know what kind of hours you're talking about over there. But anyway,
More than-
Yeah, we'll look into that. Okay,
Yeah, I not to pull the job description and things like that, but we'll see how it plays out. But it's, at least if it's a possibility, it could help.
Brian, we're still in Public Works, on beach, parks and beaches and ground maintenance. There's a surplus that we have, again.
not for long,
This is only through August, that's what I'm
not
asking.
for long.
Okay,
I'm waiting for a flagpole.
right.
That's 15,000.
Mhm.
And then we have a bunch, I'm waiting for Gene Shepherd's bills because he's been pumping
Yep.
the bathroom. And I'm waiting for a bunch of stuff.
Okay,
So,
so you're comfortable with those numbers?
yes,
Okay, that's fine.
On the jetties and bulkhead line, you had 40, Jerry's got 20.
well, because that was going to be funded through water.
No, the jetties and bulkheads, we weren't doing through waterways. We felt that wasn't really that was more of a
The
hardscape.
money someplace. Because that's why it's not in the budget.
What's the project?
Common dock.
Ogden,
Oh, we have that money.
it's in capital.
That's in
Capital.
That was through
It's in
water.
capital.
Well, I mean, there's a little bit in this Convent Creek dock, that's for maintenance, but we have it in capital funds.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's definitely in capital.
So,
That's why I was checking. Where's my capital page?
I thought it was going to come.
Did we do
Yes.
Dawn Lane this year or last year?
Did Dorleen last year.
Last year.
This year was going to be Common
So we
Street.
have, we're encumbering
We
that.
have 68. We have 68
You have it at this current year, yes.
Plus the 20 we're putting in.
plus the
Dawn
20.
Lane bumped Comden
Yes.
last year.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So this year, the calculations for the South Silver Beach Road bulkhead,
Mm-hmm,
which would be the next one to do,
mm-hmm.
is 50,000
So we should put that in capital.
for 2023.
But
And that's if it doesn't need hardwood on the outside. That's for a vinyl bulkhead. But the question is going to be for Costello or Crowley, if that's going to need hardwood bracing because of this rock that's out there. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. But for a vinyl bulkhead, it's $50,000. It's 60 feet long, it's $850 a foot.
so again, it sounds like I'm backtracking, but, so this money would be WMAC, because that's a town facility that we charge for people to dock there. When we said bulkheads and jetties, we're talking about Congdon, we're talking about.
South
Usually it would come out of
Beach.
Common Creek,
It's just
bulkheads and jetties. Usually that's where it's all been coming from, so, and we kind of switched gears on that last year.
Well, again, I was trying to,
South Silver Beach normally had a bulkhead
Right.
that was in terrible shape about 5 or 6 years ago. the earth got sucked out underneath of it. And Jay was in charge. He came in with 1-inch, I think, plywood, replywood the whole thing and get some stability. And it's worked. It does suck out a little bit of earth there. We've had to refill it a couple of times. But the bulkhead, it used to have a set of stairs that went down there. And Brian asked me about, the stairs. I said, well, if you want access to that part of the beach, you can walk down another quarter of a mile, you go to Shell Beach, just walk onto the beach. That area can get whacked with some, good sized waves and everything,
It's that
Is that dead end?
I'm thinking the lagoon.
No,
I'm sorry.
this is the, this is the
So
thing.
this is on the outside.
Yeah,
Oh,
on
I'm
the
thinking the
outside.
lagoon, okay.
No, that's.
Yeah, I know what you're
It's right
talking
near
about.
Fox's house.
Yeah,
Between,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
There's a short bulkhead, 60-foot long.
area. There's
There's a big grant
area.
on both sides.
Most common way people do is they back in
that's
there to
not-
watch sunsets, yes.
I thought it was we're talking about the other.
Okay.
Okay,
So that's 50,000?
So that would be 50,000 less hardwood. I'm not sure if it needs hardwood or not, which means, like Dawn Lane, we had to put hardwood because it's so rocky out there and waves pound up in the rock.
what are you finding when they doing the toxic? Rocky too? Is that when it was getting undermined all the time?
That was getting undermined, yes.
The bulkhead
That was
was
second.
leaning like
Yeah,
this.
and the bulkhead actually broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually broke. It's amazing it stood up with the.
It's one of those things, it's like Dawn Lane, that
Yeah.
since I've been here for 30
Yeah.
years.
It should be.
Embarrassing.
All right, so we should put that cap.
Yeah.
Well, that face says it all.
I like that surprise.
Well, if every year we're trying to knock them off.
Right.
So if we continue, this is actually
Yeah.
the cheapest one.
It is,
Right.
it's the smallest one.
Because after this one, they all get,
We have to be proactive. I mean, Dawn Lane, we waited till the
we did.
emergency. Yeah.
Well, this one was in actually worse shape until it was slightly repaired, but it's a Band-Aid ready to happen. Otherwise, you have to rope off that entire area
Right.
to prevent people from going down there.
Well, it's an accident waiting to happen.
And the other thing is the liability to the neighbor, since it is a small opening, you do have some responsibility, people to the left and right of you there,
Right, and then.
If you don't
now, the
fix it.
bulkhead to the left is actually a foot and a half higher. And
Yes,
if we were gonna do this, I would make that a foot and a half higher to meet that and then go.
correct.
And stairs is something we'd have to, I know people have already come up to me and said, there used to be stairs there.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
If there's
I think
nothing
there's nothing there. A lot of time.
And I don't get the stairs on the North Silver Beach landing because you come down the stairs, you're walking right in the water. So I don't get that either.
I don't, I think it's a waste of money. I think I would disregard those comments, to be honest with you. I live there. If you want to go down and have access to the beach, go down to Shell Beach, park your car, walk down the beach and walk up. But those stairs there, between the ice flows on certain years, when you get it, those things just get wrecked.
They do.
And by the way, when they get wrecked, I think they do damage to the bulkhead, because they're attached to the bulkhead. So as they're getting pulled back and forth, they're putting a lot of stress on the bulkhead. You just spend good money on it, but I think you have to explain that to
How
people.
about if you keep going west, the next one?
So that's the North Silver Beach landing.
Right.
Yeah,
That bulkhead's actually okay. It's huge. It's like 15 feet high.
Mm-hmm.
And that's got a staircase that just goes right down into
Yeah, about
that.
15 feet, yeah.
yeah.
That one's okay. Actually, that staircase needs to have a post because.
The only thing in that area was the flooding, constantly the flooding in that area, and you came in and you filled it in a little bit, which was nice, because that helped. Because that would flood, when we had a rain like we had last night, it'd sit for 4 days, it was a mosquito trap,
Okay, town hall and other buildings, we're gonna keep that the same.
Yes.
So you made one change on that page?
So the South Silver Beach one, that's coming out of,
So in that line that's already, that you see there's a lot of money still there? Well, not really, because I
Okay,
pulled money over from last year to do Legion Hall,
Mm-hmm.
back roof, front roof.
Right,
That's
yeah, assessors,
$40,000.
right,
So
plus the assessors,
the assessors,
plus
correct.
the floor in the police station. Yeah,
when we look at it, does it seem like after October 22nd that we can jump on it?
We'll talk about that. Everything, I'm trying to,
Okay,
I got one guy ready to go. Actually, we were talking about this morning about taking the roof off. But we'll talk about that.
just don't do it before that, once we're gonna finish it.
40 North Ray Road. So there's
We'll keep, that's the money that's generated through the rent, and we're gonna have to have some discussions what we're gonna do with 40.
Yeah.
We have to address.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
mower repair, everything else is the same.
Yeah.
Well, highlighted, do you still have the highlighted one where you took out and put it in?
Waterways, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Family, I'm not so sure, now Townland, I'm not so sure if that belongs in waterways, because it's like a road, side of the road, we go in, we get.
Well, again, it's access to the water for those that don't, either have, some don't have moorings,
Well, majority of them don't, they're just a town landing.
Well, no, like Daniel Road, they go out to their moorings, West Neck Road, they go to the mooring,
Mhm.
some areas they, I mean, it's access to the waterways, so that's what.
Access to the water, correct. Like right now, there's, down the end of Bananic Road, you have to be addressed. You go off that town landing, and there's a drop, about 2-foot drop. I'm trying to see what we can do there.
Yeah.
Um,
What would you?
Oh, you mean at the, where you just keep going straight?
Yeah,
Not the one over on.
well, I'm talking with Joe, and we're talking about maybe some stone or something. You gotta be careful what you put there, because then you never know.
People launch their boats there?
They used to, we've done it, we've filled it in once, there's old blacktop out there. I mean, that's old,
Yeah, right,
but it's just something that we're working on to figure
Okay.
out what we can put there.
all right.
People just drive off there in the summer.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they forget to turn.
Non-highway tree maintenance, you had 10,325, Jerry's got 10.
We uncovered some last year into that account with leftover money, and we want to keep it at least that, because
Budgeted 9, we modified it to 1035. I made it an even 10, we can make it 1035 if you.
Let's leave it at that.
10,320.
Yeah, I think 10.
We're not being increased anything.
And then the other one, Bridge Street restrooms, 2,500. Jerry, you put it up to 3,500? For the-
No, it was 35. Oh, Ryan asked.
Brian asked for.
I went, God bless you.
Thank you.
I went with what we had budgeted last
right,
year.
we've had a lot of problems there.
Yeah, but are you comfortable?
With the 35?
I'm going 1,000 more than you said.
Yeah, no, I am, because.
Okay.
Pumping
You've had-
Yeah, because we had that
like
discussion,
$700,
yeah.
And then we had to put in new guts to the
Yep.
thing this year,
To the bathroom itself, Brian?
the bathroom itself,
Yeah.
It's a
It's a work in progress.
maintenance,
Is it really, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like a prototype? Were we one of the first ones?
Yeah, we were a prototype and we got it.
Instead of singing the,
Any kind of like long-term.
instead of singing the Lou, we're singing the blue.
I mean, it works, but it's just a
Yeah.
constant maintenance problem.
The line above that, Brian, Crescent Beach bathrooms, you wanted 7, Jerry knocked it to 0.
But that's done.
So that's
We
actually
encumber
done.
that every year.
Unless we keep that like Bridge Street bathroom, because we do have to pump that.
Right.
So do we want a separate line on that, like we do for Bridge Street, or do we want to just incorporate that with parks and beaches? So far,
And what was the squat invoice we just got? Is that for Crescent Beach?
the water,
Yeah.
right, so we got our water bill, our first water bill for Crescent Beach, because we're on public water now,
Mhm.
which wasn't a lot, it was for 3,000 gallons for $300 and some dollars.
Yeah.
So that's not a lot, but we have pumped Crescent Beach bathroom 8 times.
Right.
So he only.
That's $700 or so, wasn't it?
Yeah.
6, 7?
So one time was actually the valve in the toilet stuck open and
Yes.
flowed.
Yeah, we know that.
So,
Are we gonna change the handicap toilet?
well,
I mean, so that's
we're
about
looking into it, but I don't think we can
Grand.
because it is
maybe
ADA.
8 grand, depending on how.
So-
many it's to charge.
Unfortunately, if we went to a foot,
So they don't make the ADA,
no. I mean, I would like to, because
Yeah, right.
it save a lot of water.
Yeah.
That's the problem. The 88 toilet, which is a regular toilet, uses 1.5 gallons per flush.
Right.
That's what's using all the water.
Right.
For whatever it's worth, when we have the meeting in the spring with Sunset Beach, I'd like to propose that we split that cost 50/50. Just throw it out there.
Yeah.
Could have say no, but the clients, does everybody go back to the room to go to the bathroom? I don't know. If the bathroom's there, it's being shared.
I'll tell you what, when we go down there and we work on it, we check it out, it's a constant stream of people in the middle of something. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like the Lou at Bridge Street.
Yeah.
It's constant stream of people.
Yeah. Well, not a lot of public bathrooms on the sideline, so,
No.
I mean, when you really think about it, there are people that I'm sure stop, use those facilities, they're not even at the beach. You know, people on bikes and walkers and, people just stop in their car, get out to go to the bathroom.
Well, let's see.
They stop, go to the bathroom there. There's not many places on this island you could do that without getting yelled at.
Yeah.
So Brian, the options are, not the money, just the bookkeeping end of it. Do we take Bridge Street restrooms and incorporate it with parks and beaches and then keep Crescent Beach bathroom in that also? Or do we create another line for Crescent Beach bathroom?
Or just create a line for bathrooms, beach bathroom, and put both the Lou and Crescent Beach and Wade Beach for that fact
Oh, yeah.
on line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you, because
So we'll do,
it's a
okay,
management tool.
so we'll make the line parks and beach restrooms.
It probably should be all grouped together, I would think.
Okay.
And then,
How much?
So the question is, are we adding to the, there's no money for Crescent Beach bathroom, and Wade's Beach, you already incorporated into parks and beaches. So
I know we have to,
the only addition will be Crescent Beach.
Do we have a contract with the pump out company that
we don't, but
states how much we'll pay per pump out? Because we know the gallons.
have Island Portables pump it out first.
Yeah.
And then, because he's only calling me, I'll be there in a couple of days. Well, we don't have a couple of days.
Doesn't work.
So that's why we went to Gene, and he was keeping everything the same.
Okay.
And trying, and working with us. Because it is
Yeah.
Yeah.
so much, and if we grouped everything together, we can talk and try to get a better price
Okay.
all around. If nobody beats it, then he's the man.
Does he do
He
Bridge Street also?
he did that for us, and also we have the church.
Right.
the church pump out.
The water system at the church with the backwash, the backflow.
Yeah.
He did that the other day for the first time.
First time in 2 years?
No, it's only, hasn't been that long.
Sure.
Uh,
I think it has.
Yeah, I think so
I
too.
think
Yeah,
so.
a year and a half anyhow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
Any idea how much that costs?
it was a 600 gallon tank, probably $600.
Okay.
Okay, so back to beach bathrooms, what's,
So what do you want to add for Crescent Beach? What do you?
So if we pumped it, so 53,
I mean, I would-
5,600?
no, I would, if we're gonna pump all these things,
Oh, no, I just meant for
Because
Crescent.
we already compensated the other ones.
Yeah.
Crescent Beach.
that's Crescent Beach?
Yeah.
7,000.
We're ready.
yeah, I would keep the 7 in.
Okay.
okay, so then that goes up to 10,500.
That's- Oh, when you make it one.
Yes.
Yeah, but just add 7 because you only had.
Right, so it was 3,500, so
yeah.
at 10,500.
Okay, so it's $7,000 increase.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to move these 2 lines into the first line in that section, parks and beaches? Create a new line. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so before we go to the next page, so we're taking out $2,500 out of Public Works equipment, and we're rating 7,000 to Crescent Beach bathroom.
And net less of 4,500.
Yes.
Okay, we're on our.
Okay. Next page is,
You have highway,
Page 17?
yeah, 17.
Yeah, that's why is that. Public Works, the highway, A, You got landfill, and we go to the DAs and the actual highway account.
So well, the personal services here is just the clerical. It's your salary and the clerical.
Right.
Yeah, it's the management.
And probably that's the reason the A is in here. It's an A fund because your salaries are
And that's just 4%?
4%, yes.
And everything else is
Right,
what you propose.
okay. So let's see. Okay. Just real quick while we're on that page, Brian. Medical center kind of falls under public works. Repairs and maintenance was keeping, I put in the 4%. 2%. Repairs and maintenance in the medical center.
We've really been pretty good there.
You don't see anything coming up.
No, I got such a fun list of that years ago. where you-
HVAC units
Okay,
go.
We virtually did everything in that building at that time. I mean, it was soup to nuts, electrical, plumbing, painting.
and the only one I didn't change from the original, Amber, is medical center fuel. We doubled it, but everybody else we did
Like a
47.
40%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back down below, highway, Brian, are you gonna go to Association of Towns, and is that where it belongs, is here?
I usually don't go to association.
Brian goes to highway superintendent
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
association.
All right.
4,200.
Okay, okay, so in medical center, fuel costs, we're gonna go from 6,000 to 4,200.
Do we also then need to, when we get down to revenues?
Yeah.
We got it, because we get a reimbursement from
Yes.
the doctor's offices.
Yep. Okay, next, what page is next?
24?
24.
Okay, landfill. This is the bulk of the, all right, personal services, we discussed, Brian. The only increase we're showing here is clerical, anybody that's not in the bargaining unit. For negotiations.
Right.
That kind of covers everything in the personal services line, so we can get down to miscellaneous equipment. You keep
I
it,
thought we were gonna ask him about overtime.
uh,
Do you have to change overtime at all?
We dropped overtime
I think
from 11 to 8.
wait, there's all sorts of overtime lines here. Let's go with
No, we dropped it
127,
to 18.
21,000 to 18,000,
Yeah.
okay. And then landfill double overtime from 11,000 to 8,000.
Just out of curiosity, I know the bad weather's coming up and you know, maybe we've only expended 6,000 of 21,000 last year if the first 8 months. And we have a balance of $14,800 here. Is there a need that be that high then? Or we anticipate the last 4 months of this year that there's going to be a tremendous amount more overtime?
Because all the holidays coming up, you got election, veterans,
Thanksgiving,
Thanks.
Christmas,
close those days.
but
We also have hurricanes.
Columbus Day,
people, if they have time coming, do they take it, they didn't use it towards the end of the year? So we have to cover the overtime?
yeah, but that's already in here.
Oh, no, we have to cover.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yeah. We do have to cover that.
We did drop it 3,000.
Okay.
We dropped everything, even the double time we dropped.
Okay,
So, a couple of questions. Number one, the idea of during the construction of the roof, when we close the recycling area only, not the landfill part of it, on Wednesdays, and now we go 7 days a week again, we're back to regular. is there any reason during the winter months, during the off-season, that you have to have that open 7 days a week? Is there any saving involved in it where people can be used differently for different projects? I know it's something that people,
When it does slow down,
yeah, it slows down.
and we pull people out
Okay.
to do different projects.
Okay, oh, we do, okay, all right. Second question I have is on equipment. Now, we're anticipating, last year we got reimbursed for the grinder, and this year we're projected to get reimbursed for the excavator and the, what other piece of?
Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put in for the whole roof structure and all our time to put it up.
Okay.
That's gonna be the next,
So when that money comes in, Brian and Amber, how does that help us in turn? That just pays off that equipment, final payments on those equipment, or is that money,
those are all, they're all paid off already.
they're all paid off already?
Into equipment reserve.
So obviously, when we took in that $355,000 this year, that went back into your equipment fund, or
No, that actually went to pay off the grinder.
that went to pay off the grinder? The other two pieces of equipment are paid off for. What I'm trying to suggest is that if this money comes back in and it's targeted to come back in this year, which is a substantial amount of money, is there any benefit to using that money somehow? You know,
Well, I think we put it into your capital,
I think so, because looking down the road,
get it.
Haven,
Yeah.
we're gonna be closing,
I was gonna
and we're
say,
gonna be modifying,
I got it.
we're gonna be modifying the way we do things
Yeah.
to get rid of C and D,
Right,
because Brookhaven will be closing, and we're gonna have to either travel with it
Yeah.
longer,
right.
or we're gonna have to size it
Mhm.
to
So,
get cheaper price.
yeah, so I think Jay's original plan was, this is what we need, this is how we're gonna pay it off, and then when it's paid it off, we continue, Is that where you're going with them?
If we go,
I was just looking at, if we were gonna,
Like 53.
we'll look at, let's just look. at
Cost savings.
Yeah, cost saving.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, unfortunately, we're gonna be having a transition here in the next couple of years because of Brookhaven,
Right,
and it's not gonna be easy.
What's the plan for that, and how do we need to start saving in order to make it work?
Right, because Brookhaven is actually going up on prices next
Yeah.
year substantially. So, I mean, they're going from like $68 a ton to 200.
so Brian, Brian and I have been in discussions with with this state and some agencies about an incinerator type unit to burn. That won't help us all with Brookhaven closing, really.
Well, no, well, maybe. We might be able to burn clean wood. Like we used to be able to,
Right.
so it might. It all depends on, the DC's constantly
Yeah.
going, doing their regulations.
Megs, what's the plan? I mean, on our end, aside from the cost, we have to look at how we're gonna, the ability to cart it ourselves, or?
Right. Yeah, cart it ourselves, where's it gonna go? I would assume we're probably gonna go to the same place, Crown, but the price is gonna go up. Or if we size it to certain specs, then we keep the cost down. But to size it costs money. So
Do we have one tractor trailer,
we have two,
or one's
but one's over.
stays on the island? Do you take it off island, or?
Only if the other one breaks down.
Okay.
When you say size it, can you explain that to us?
So right now, if you take construction debris right out of our bin, load it in a truck, take it to Brookhaven, it's $100 and some a ton. If it's sized 2 foot or smaller, it's $68 a ton.
So you have to break it down.
So they're saving airspace. So, and that's what it's gonna be. They're trying to save as much airspace as they can so they can landfill longer. But it's coming to an end here in a year or two, and they're done. They're just gonna be done. So the next place is Route 110.
Huntington area. throwing it, you know.
So, I mean, the obvious option, good Lord, for when these prices go up is user fees.
Mhm.
You dump it, you pay, you have to pay.
You're gonna have to pay whatever we're paying to get rid of it. Which is what we do now. I mean,
Yeah.
our fee is just based on
What it costs us. to
what it
get-
costs us, you know, plus the transportation, the guy's time and fuel and all that other stuff.
What's the dilemma of the other east end towns? So I mean, they're obviously faced with the same.
Well, a lot of the other towns, Southam, East Hampton, they don't deal with it. The private carter has to deal with it. They're not in the C&D business, you know, like we are.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, so you can't dump it at their landfill?
they don't know, you know, you gotta have a private car to take it away.
Uh-huh. It's interesting. Be tough for the homeowners, huh? You know,
You know, a lot of people,
construction jobs.
like in Riverhead, they don't have anything like that. They go to Crown
Mhm.
or Gershower. That's their way of not dealing with it.
So what's our time frame on close it, Brookhaven?
2 years, maybe.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be 2024.
Yeah, I'm actually
But-
waiting for Christine Fenn, who was running Brookhaven now, to get back to me. Because we're updating our multi-jurisdictional debris management plan with the county.
Mhm.
And then hopefully I can get out of her because they're very tight-lipped up there. All right, when are you closing? And what's the next step?
So we have to start really coming up with a plan.
So if we were to grind our C&D, EC says we have to have a covered building in order to grind our C&D to size it. So look at that
And
expense.
when you say grind, can we grind everything that we get dumped, or do we have to sort it?
Got to be separated, so nothing hurts to grind it.
Good Lord,
Yeah, it's going to be a total,
good Lord.
yeah.
All right.
I don't know how careful you have to be with that, pushing it through a grinder too. I mean, when
Mhm.
you'd have to be pretty disciplined.
That's why the one has worked so well, because Brett treats it like,
Right, and he's only grinding brush.
Right, I was gonna say, once you start mixing what you're
Yeah.
grinding, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
all right.
So your question, if whatever money comes back, it should go back in there in anticipation for what we're going to do in the future.
Would you even have space there to be able to put that kind of a building that if you,
Yeah, right over where this construction debris is now.
right where the construction is?
Take some engineering, but it'll be done.
Okay. All right, so let's go back to Jim's original question. When we,
Go to
when we.
page 53.
Sorry,
Go to page 53.
53 for, okay.
Yeah, because that's, I
Okay.
think, it's-
It's a capital page.
Yeah.
so on page 53, which is the capital improvement plan. Oh, you want sticky stuff? Okay, that's not.
Okay. So on the highway fund?
Yeah, so if you go down to the highway, I'm just waiting for Jim to get there.
Okay.
So if you go down to highway fund, you'll see last year we were paying off the Kenworth trucks.
Yes.
Yep.
But then we've rolled on the Mack tractor trailer and the loader.
Right.
So there's As and Rs is footnotes. So A means it's getting paid out of appropriations or, you know, out
Mhm.
of taxpayer money. The R means it's coming from the equipment reserve fund. So that's what we keep watching every year, is to make sure that we're like rolling in and out. Shelby has
So we
some-
took one of the payments for the Mack truck and rolled it over to the Mack tractor trailer,
For the Kenworth.
the reserve.
Yeah, it's not quite as clear here. There's
Yeah.
another spreadsheet that Shelby has.
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah, but that's basically what we did. We took, when we were done with one payment, we rolled it over into another
Right.
payment. And
So appropriations is just out of the budget itself?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, so you'll see
Out of
that
this, out of
the highway fund for capital, we're going to spend $97,530. 86,950 is coming out of the reserve fund. So we're only taking 10,580 from appropriations.
Okay.
We don't have the new hook lift
I was
truck
just
in
going
there
to
yet.
say, while we're here on this page.
Yeah.
Say,
Want to talk
how
about
much,
lift truck?
so
Yes,
the government, I guess I'll give everybody, the government capital,
yes. Everyone should have a copy.
Oh, yeah.
like I said, I'm waiting for East Hampton. So
For everyone to see or for, It's on SharePoint. Unless you want me to send it to Christina.
So last year, we encumbered money for the hook truck. Okay?
The same thing?
No, it's just, no, two different.
You didn't give me one.
Sorry, I don't have any more.
All right, I'll
share.
Yeah, okay.
The money we encumbered was going to be a first payment for the hook truck. The hook truck isn't going to be here until 2023.
Just explain what the hook truck is.
The hook truck is a truck that's a dump truck. It's a spreader truck, salt sand, it's a plow truck. And the reason we went to this is because every time you load trucks with a loader, with brush and stuff like that, you're beating them up and you're damaging them. So the concept here is you got a container, you drop it, you load it, you pick it up, and you're not beating anything up. You're beating up the container, which is better than beating up inside of a truck that,
And it's a
Budget.
normal full-size container or what?
yeah. It's a 17-foot container. We got two containers. It should work out well, but again, you can put anything on it. You can haul anything with it.
Yeah.
Containers, spreaders. Wow.
So 2 containers, you drop one at the job site, you go back and get the other one, and you come back, that one's full, and you drop it off, and you just keep going back and forth. Okay.
All right.
And,
I was just gonna say, I have 2 different ones, but I don't know what they're for.
So 282 is the hook truck. And
280,
what we did was we went out to bid for that last year,
okay.
actually in April. We ordered it in April. So, and it's not expected to be here till next year. And so right now we have around $70,000 in the budget that I encumbered from last year for the first payment.
right,
So these are some of the options. So as you can see, the interest rate here is in the low 4s to low 5s to mid 5s. Now, East Hampton told me their interest is in the low 4s. Now, I was hoping to have his proposals, but he didn't get it to me.
but he might have got committed before the rates went up.
I don't know. He said they were in the low 4s. So, so that's the hook truck. And we were going to incorporate that somehow into the capital reserve.
Right,
The other thing that I asked for this year, for 2023, was a new pickup truck. And that's the other $55,000 one.
Okay.
So that's options for that. Or I know that there was another line,
what was that for, I'm sorry?
pickup truck, 55,000 with a lift gate. The pickup truck we have now is getting on in time.
Where do we see that on the?
And
That's
It's
the
the second page.
second page.
So there's 2 pages in your hand.
Yeah.
One is, yeah.
I'll check that, okay.
So in both, so the hook truck is a bid process that we went through, and they were the ones that bid, and the pickup truck is state, what am I trying to say?
Contract?
State contract, but we're only holding prices for 30 days, even on state contract, because that's the way things are going.
Okay.
That's how crazy it is.
what does that mean? If you sign the contract, it's only good for 30 days?
Only good for 30 days. When you get the truck, it might be, again, you're probably looking at a year. I mean, it's horrible out there. And you're probably looking at, I don't know, another $500, $600, $700, who knows? Because here's the other thing, so right now, they're switching from 22s to 23 models. So they're making a factory switch in between a supply chain issue and everything else, so.
How many pickup trucks do we have fairly new right now?
One.
Sure?
Yeah. So the one we're replacing is the one with the lift gate, which somebody can go out and pick up a deer by himself because it's the gate, you know?
Brian, is it worth keeping the vehicles and handing them down, or should we just put them out to auction?
Put them out to auction. I mean, when we get done with a vehicle, there's nothing left of it,
Right,
you know?
Yeah.
Another reason for this hook truck is I have 2 green dump trucks, all green dump trucks. One has a spreader and the body is lashed down to the frame because
Right,
it can't lift up anymore because it's rusted out.
right.
The other one is the only thing we're using for brush because we don't want to use a newer truck for brush because we don't want to beat them up.
Right,
And that's the reason for the hook truck.
right. The other reason for the hook truck is you can put equipment in it and move equipment.
Is that,
Rather than trailer
comes
it
with a flatbed,
off the island. or-
boxes, comes with anything you want. We can haul our own refrigerators if we wanted to,
Mhm,
which Crown does now because
Right,
we don't have a container.
right.
So it's a lot of different uses for one vehicle. So
What's your proposal for the pickup truck? Do you have anything?
well,
Sure.
I had, last time we talked, there was something in the budget that was left.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
how we
right.
took the first payment.
Yes.
It's for the loader. It was in DA.
I mean, and the other proposal, Jerry, was remember the brush arm tractor?
What?
The tractor with the brush arm?
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I'm kind of looking at something a little different now,
Not short. Not in,
because
because it came out of
that
the reserve.
is only good for
That
one
was
thing.
what the problem was. In the capital
Cut
budget.
brush on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Appropriations.
They make
but we paid for it out
a
of the
small
reserve.
wheeled excavator that you can, with attachments on it, that you can go down and do the same thing, cut brush on the side of the road, but also put a bucket
No, it
on
came out of
and
the
dig,
reserve.
whatever you want to do. Which probably for the, a little bit more money
It
might be
would've just
more
been in-
useful for us
in
instead
that
of
transfer to
just sitting there
capital
using it for
Yeah,
one
right.
thing.
project
So
one,
I think I'll hold off on the brush tractor for now.
DA 9950.
I get better information on
Right.
this other thing, because it
You get
might,
demos when they did, when you,
we can download something like that, yes. The problem is there's not a lot out there because they're in such demand.
yeah,
So, but I think, I'm gonna pass on that brush cutter for now, because if we're gonna have financing issues with this other stuff, I want to add that into the mix and then try and find that. I want something that's multifunctional,
Right,
not just
yeah,
one,
exactly.
one thing that's just sitting there until we use it.
right.
Because that's no good for it either.
Yeah.
47? 46?
You guys looking for?
The line that has the money.
Yeah. It's 40, page 46. See, we had included,
Oh, transfer capital. Okay.
we had included
There it
that
is.
46 in there.
Yeah, it's also on page.
I don't even have page 46.
In DA.
So there's 96,000.
No, it's whatever,
Another.
if you look on the H fund, it's whatever the loader payment was, so the 46,000. We had put it in the budget as an appropriation, but it actually got paid from the reserve, capital reserve. So it's still, we still have the 46.
Okay. So you have 70,000 in coverage for the hook truck.
So the hook truck,
And the 46 is for the pickup truck?
well, that's what I'm proposing.
We still don't, we're getting money from the hook truck.
Right.
When the hook truck, that 70,000 is there encumbered. And we can use, you can start paying, get into a contract now, while the interest rates are still down. Make our first payment, that way we're already ahead of the game, and then decide what kind of a payment we want to make, or schedule.
I thought we already ordered.
We did order it, but we haven't,
Right,
if it's not gonna be here until next year,
right.
I'd rather get the financing done now before things go up. I mean, I probably should have done it
Yeah,
before,
coulda, shoulda, woulda. Yeah. Okay.
so it's just a matter of how we want to do this.
Well, if we have 46 left over from the loader. That's this year's money, you could order it this year. I don't know if you get it this year, but can you find another $9,000?
I can find that, out of next year's budget, I can find that.
No, I'm talking this year's.
This year,
Yeah, because the money's in this year.
I don't know, there's a lot of things coming up and I'm not sure. I can,
Christina, can I do screen share?
unless I can take some, because it's gonna come with a plow as well, that's with a plow. I can take some out of
So,
snow equipment to cover the rest of that.
here is the equipment reserve fund. So 2022. You want me to try and make that bigger?
If you can.
I got it right here. That's fine.
Yeah, so we started the year with $257,700, basically. We add in $100,000 from the budget each year. That's the deposit coming in. So we paid the last payment on the dump trucks, the $51,399. Then we've got the Mack tractor payment of $39 coming out and the loader $47. A little bit of interest. So we'll end the year with $219,000. The fund stays pretty stable, and then by 2026, we're looking okay. The question is like, where do we want to leave this balance? If we've got the, for this pickup truck, a little bit of extra could come out of here, and I wouldn't be worried about the fund balance. But if we have 70,000 encumbered for the hook truck, that could drop our payments over 5 years down to about 50,000. But I still don't like leaving this fund so light in case of, a big failure on another critical piece of equipment.
So this is what we budgeted this year. Right?
Yep.
This is what we need. What are we doing with the balance with the 106 here?
Well, that was appropriations. That came out of reserve. That was appropriations. That was appropriations. That's in part why your budget started out looking so good. We weren't spending as much on capital. And some of it, got.
But if these two are done, is what I'm saying. Why aren't we just going it over?
Because we've spent in other areas. Like we went from 163,000 to 275,000 in the general fund. Expenditures, not looking at the highway fund stuff. So it's gotten redistributed.
Right.
And being I already have that first payment, so to say, for that hook truck, which is, or if we locked in and made a first payment this year, and if we did a 5-year plan, it's 66,000, but if we only have 4 more years to pay that off, we'd be down to 170 here, but
You can plug stuff in and it'll.
Yeah.
it'll-
Yeah, because the 70,000 isn't coming out of the reserve fund, so we're good for that. But then if we put down 70,000, because this sheet that you gave us with the 66,000 over 5 years assumes a $1 down payment or no down payment.
that was with,
Tax instructional $1 purchase. The 70,000 drops, I think, the 66,000 down to 50,000. Because we're not financing as much.
Right.
Which seemed rational.
no, that's with the 70,000 down.
That is with the
Yeah.
70,000 down? Oh, because wait, how much does the equipment cost?
282.
Yeah, I think it's with the 70 down.
No, that doesn't seem right. Just because if you take the three payments, that's 316,000 we're paying out, which gives us financing costs.
Oh, no, maybe-
34.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, it has to be the whole thing. Otherwise, the financing costs don't.
No, you're right, I'm sorry.
Okay, so then 50,302, I'm guessing is the. We'll have to get that number tweaked with them. So that's what we'd be taking our,
Yeah, for 4 years.
so 2024, 2025, we're down to 145,000-ish. And what everybody's comfort level is.
Being that the trucks are fairly new, just paid off, excavator just paid off, new tractor, right, new hug truck.
That's true too. Would you put back in the excavator?
That's what I was trying to
Reimbursement?
ask you.
Yeah.
Where did that go?
Well, the excavator we haven't gotten yet, but the grinder, some of that money went back in last year. So I'm saying when you get the excavator reimbursement, would some of that or all of
The
that?
grinder we had paid off.
Yeah, the grinder's already
No,
accounted
no,
for.
we had paid it off, then when we got the money, it went into our.
Yeah, it was only
Right, that's the,
26,000.
yeah,
732 that went in. But so how much are we getting back on the grinder, the excavator?
excavator.
I don't have that number in front of me.
You know that, Jim? Not a grant.
I don't have that book with me, but I tell you if I had the book with me, but I didn't bring that book with me.
Go back to the
Yeah, I have it
SharePoint
in
and see if I
revenue.
can.
Would that be,
So then that you could put
would that
Yes,
be DA?
that
Would
an
be-
in and then see where you
and then
Yeah,
balancing.
that would make me feel more
Would that
comfortable.
be DA or DB? Booking revenues.
Wait, what are you looking
I
for?
was gonna look.
Oh, no, we need to know what the grant, application was. You're not gonna see a number flowing through.
Okay.
Let's see, where is that spreadsheet?
What's the total price of the excavator?
Excavator is like 250.
It's 230, I think.
I'm gonna say 125, Jim. Because it was
Yeah,
a portion of it, not the whole thing.
for 115, 230. How much is this in my mind?
Schedule. Yeah, I'm not seeing it on the schedule, but. Why don't we get out? We're gonna be meeting
email?
another,
Yeah,
we're gonna have another meeting on, what is it, Monday we're scheduled?
yep.
So if we can have the answer for that by Monday.
Okay, so it's a twofold what we're looking for? So we're gonna,
Yeah, Brian needs to rerun the hook truck. Have them rerun that for you so we have a better number. Then we'll also find out what the status and amount of the excavator grant is.
where's this coming?
This can come from, the pickup truck
This year?
can be this year, because you've got money this year, Brian. So we don't have to put it into the 2023.
Okay. I can order it. We're not gonna know even though it's on state bid, we're not gonna know a price. Because they're only holding prices for 30 days. So that's the other dilemma. What do we do there? Everybody's in this, has the same problem.
Okay,
Well, we're short 9,000, that can come out of the equipment reserve. I mean, that's a small enough figure that I'm comfortable with.
I can even take that out of snow equipment because it's coming with a plow, take that portion of it and pay it out of that.
Okay.
Because hopefully we don't see any snow.
And I guess the price is whatever the price is gonna be.
okay. Back up to page 24.
22.
So now we did the personal services, then miscellaneous equipment. And that was modified because of the forklift.
Right.
And I have forks for the new loader is coming out of that line as well, which they're not here yet.
Yep.
Okay.
And that next line, repair and maintenance, same thing. I have a boom for that new loader coming out of that line.
Mm-hmm.
And we like to keep them the same. Jetties and walls are those mafia blocks that we get all the time.
On the capital equipment reserve fund, where we budget 100,000 every year to, as a standard, which we recommended years ago. We've so far encumbered 50,000, we have 50,000. Is that 50,000 now designated for expenditure on something? Remaining 50,000 of the 100,000 in the.
We pay quarterly, that's why. Yeah, we just cut a check and then deposit it into the reserve fund.
So that's, if I go back to this share, screen share.
So that's in there, that 100,000.
Yes, we paid
Yes.
half the year and
Right, okay.
I think then October and December.
Just a quarterly payment.
Yeah.
So moving down to,
Jim, that's this highlighted.
Yeah.
100,000,
I got it,
the
thank you.
deposit committee.
the solid waste carting fees.
Yeah, why are they going down?
Well, based on what we've already done this year,
Okay,
everybody's going back to the garbage man.
okay,
So we saw during COVID, everybody was bringing everything in, buying bags, coming across the scale. Now, as COVID, everybody's getting back to the same routine. They got the garbage man coming to pick their garbage up, and that's why that number's going down, because it's going off the island.
all right.
So we adjusted that number.
Right. Hazardous guarding fees went down 10,000.
Right. So we adjusted that number.
Mm-hmm. Demo concrete out is going up.
Right, we raised that because of what we've already done this year, all the renovation that's been happening. And hopefully, well, I know, the talk of recession and everything else, things might slow down a little bit. And that the housing, building and renovating things, so.
Purchase of bags went up, Brian, is that because the cost of the bags?
Cost of the bags, cost of the ink,
Was it kind
put on the
of,
bags.
more people are using private garbage?
But still, the cost of the bag, and we're just basing that on, we haven't gone up on bags
Mhm.
in years.
Okay. Okay.
And, I mean, last year, there was a supply chain issue, couldn't even get the bag.
Okay.
And environmental testing, you got a
That's going,
price on that? Yeah,
and that's why we went up on that one.
okay, hauling
Are we
C,
testing new thing? Are we running
No.
new tests, just the cost of
The
testing?
cost,
okay, hauling C and D, that's going down also. Everything else is the same.
so office and miscellaneous. That had a lot to do with our SMS program. And I don't know where we talk about this, but the fuel surcharge is in the program now. The fuel surcharge, so it's whenever the town board, I believe, has to make a resolution on instituting that, we're all ready to go.
Oh, okay. That's right, we talked about doing that, but then.
It took a while for them to get that done.
Have to reevaluate the price of.
I know,
the cost of
yeah, we have to
fuel,
take a
but it's-
look since it's gone down a little,
Yeah.
but still.
It just started going back up.
Did it? Okay. All right.
A couple of days, it shot up another 10 cents.
Do that before the season starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, a surcharge. Okay, what's next, show?
You want to do revenues, landfill?
Yes, do revenues, good idea.
Page 30.
Okay, landfill revenues. So Brian, we're budgeting $15,000 increase in C and D furniture in, but we dropped the carding fee, so that makes sense?
Yeah, I don't know why we did that.
Any notes, Shell?
First one.
Landfill revenues.
Yeah.
Top one. When you're going on predictions of what we did and what
Kind
we're
of
doing,
anticipating things to slow down.
yeah. Now we can come back to that.
Wait, so C and D furniture in?
Mm-hmm.
The 159, if it's, what we've done so far this year holds steady, we'd be at 239.
Right,
Right.
Yeah.
okay.
But I don't think we wanted to think.
No, I think that's what we said, we projected if we finish the year, but
Yeah, we
because
split
the
the
other stuff's
difference.
going down, we'll knock it down, so we
Mhm.
Okay.
210 is what we're proposing instead of 240. Okay,
The sale of bags would be.
Sale of bags.
Would be the same thing, it's, we're not gonna make that modified budget,
right, Mhm.
obviously. And probably 111 is probably a pretty good estimate because the number of people are
right.
down now.
Same with wet garbage in, we saw a surge in that.
Mhm.
Oh, we'll drop that back down to 10,000. Brush in,
It's nonstop. It's
Nonstop.
not slow down.
and again, our projections for over and above that, but we'll 190, from 165 to 190 we're going. Concrete in, we're dropping 5,000. Based on what we're seeing.
Clean ass.
Clean concrete and clean asphalt. Those are new lines that you're charging? You
And we
changing?
separated those
Yeah.
last year. Because it goes out as two different
Yep.
things.
Mhm. Okay. Stumps in. Again, you're seeing, for a while, guys were taking them off the island because it was cheaper. But I guess they're not anymore. Going from 14,000 to 20,000. You're already hit 24,000 through August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just been up there the last couple of days, some
Yeah.
huge dumps up there. They split those before they throw them through the grinder, right? They have to.
Yeah, we have
The
a
mammoth.
splitter on the backhoe that's,
Yeah, you have to.
so
So
So with this-
fill-in is down.
Fill-in is down, correct. So with talking about the fuel surcharge, everything that we haul, everything that we grind, we get a fuel surcharge. Brush, leaves, C&D out, concrete out, all those things, everything that, if we have to travel, we have to grind, all that fuel that we're using is going to get a fuel surcharge because of the high prices. Because one thing that we haven't come to yet is how much we're over in our fuel budget, which we'll talk about when we get there.
So on the next page, Brian, the first change in sale of light iron, we anticipated 30,000 and we're already at past 30,000 through August. So we're anticipating 38,000 for next year. That's conservative, I think.
In times like this, metal prices are up.
And the next one would be paper and mixed sales.
That's a sign.
Same thing, that went down.
Can we
actually.
go back up to sales for topsoil sales?
Okay, mhm.
Because we've only brought in 24,700 this.
The season just started, the fall planting season,
Yes.
so
Okay.
give it a couple of months.
Top dressing of the lawns right now. They go through a lot of topsoil this time of the year.
So we kept that the same.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
It's kind of tried and true, we know.
actually, September and October be a
Yeah.
big time for topsoil.
Okay, so the next one would be paper and mixed paper sales. We've projected 2,500 last year or over 5,000 already, so we'll go with 5,000 next year.
Okay.
Double ground chips and mulch, we projected 65,000, sales weren't what we'd hoped they'd be. So we're knocking that down 25,000?
Do you think that that's going to go up just with the fall season, or no?
I mean, we usually sell the same thing every year. It doesn't, and I think because of all the building and everything that was going on, we figured we'd be doing some more, but we didn't.
You're talking
Yeah,
about
I think we should,
chips and mulch?
Yeah.
A lot of those big projects are starting to get to the landscaping phase. I'm just thinking about.
Have we been as attentive with mulch, especially the fine mulch? I see the coarse mulch that's up there, that gets taken.
Last year.
Yeah, so what happened was, this year the screening plant broke down, and we waited for weeks,
Okay,
months for an engine. So we weren't able to screen
that fine mulch.
fine mulch.
Yeah.
But we did get rid of that coarse mulch. We had the golf course. We pressed the golf course.
Yes,
And so next year, I'm not planning on screening mulch because it's the one fuel you use, and then the product that comes out the other end, nobody wants.
Right.
So
yeah.
why screen it out?
45 to 120.
So, no, it's a decision if somebody, I think what we'll do, if somebody wants fine mulch, they're gonna have to pay a premium, and we'll come up with a price
Yeah,
that takes care of it.
yeah.
yeah, okay.
Probably right.
Yes.
Okay.
So Amber just checked. So last year on the ground mulch was 45,000. This year we raised the anticipated revenue to 65,000. I think we're safe going back down to 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really the only one we over anticipated in revenues. The way things were going, it looked like it was a sure thing. Okay,
Commercial leaf debris. Oh, we're just getting into leaf season. Never mind.
Right.
And then the other one, sales fill out, that's up. You have that.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah, that is a,
because we're going from 2,500 to 5,000 there. What's next, show?
DA. I just got an answer from Jen Ciano, if you want to know. She said she's out, but we're going to be reimbursed for the amount that we paid. So when I pull up what we paid, it was $225,682. was the bid award.
50% of that.
And then
285 for what?
225, 682.
That's what I said.
But then I think like
This is the
interests
ex-
have to be it.
This is the excavator?
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought it was 230, and that's why I said 115.
Right, yeah, 50%, so
I said 115, yeah. 226 and change, that's what I remember.
So then, then annual lease payments for 5 years. So I think with the interest, it ended up being like 245
Okay,
that we paid. So I don't know if we get reimbursed for the
for the interest?
purchase,
I
yeah.
think just the purchase.
I think it's just.
I think it's
For the
right,
two.
this price too, yes.
So 225, 682, we can play around with.
So then that would bring almost 113,000.
113,000, right.
The equipment reserve fund.
Right.
Okay, so then if we take out the hook lift truck,
That's if we get it though, Amber, I mean, if the state gets to that number, which we anticipate it's going to this year.
right,
She projected that number, we would reach that number this year. Because the state takes on a couple of dozen of those,
yes.
and if you count out from where they ended to where this
Right.
number is, we
Yeah.
should be within that, for the excavator.
So then if we get the hook lift truck, 50,000-ish payments, then the low point in our reserve fund would be 258,000. So that keeps us sort of,
Keep this over to 200 more.
on track for where we should be. But let's get that hook, the new number.
Okay, so as soon as I get
Right,
East Hampton's number, which he said was in the low 4s,
Mhm.
I'll come back and we'll decide exactly what kind of payment we want, and then we'll lock that in, make the first payment, and then we only got 4 more years to do it.
right.
Andrew's saying with the 70,000 down payment.
Right.
Okay. Page 44?
Yes.
Okay. Everything in personal services is going to stay the same, because we're negotiating. Equipment is going to stay the same.
It's going to stay the same, that number is, and that 83,000 is that down payment for that truck we just got.
Well, yeah, we adopted 16.5
Right.
and we modified it to 84,000 because we had, just Brian just mentioned, previous year. Okay,
Fuel is up
fuel going up,
15,000.
yeah,
Oil, fluids, and grease, we're going up 2.
yep,
Stays the same with grinder, maintenance parts is 15,000, and the last one stays the same at refurbished equipment. Yes,
basically there's a $15,000 increase for fuel and oil.
yes.
Can I question that one for just a second? So we have 11,000 remaining. So it feels like this year is going to be okay. And I don't know
That's
if
not,
we
I
can-
don't think that 11,000 is a true number.
And fuel,
I know the police is
Okay.
out
Yeah.
money, I think that Brian,
so
this
that's
is through
gas.
August.
Right now, that's the gas line. Right now in gas, we're even. Next load of gas, we're in trouble.
Okay, I get it. All right, thank you.
Numbers are for the first 8 months.
Yeah, and BJ, we're doing budget transfers for the police gas lines, fuel lines today, but we need to work with Brian to find out
His transfers.
what his transfers are going to need to be.
And I
Showed her.
yeah,
We are wondering though if there's
it might not be right.
some other spots.
It's just based on the fuel we used
Right,
previous years and
Yes.
price, the last price we got, which obviously is going to differ because it's
right, we
starting.
don't have hurricanes or snow.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I want to sit down with you, Brian, just to find out, like, if there's some other areas internally that we can pull from instead of.
Well, there is. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that.
All right, page 45, brush and weeds.
Pretty much the same, exactly the same. All the way down the line, exactly the same.
Okay, and snow is the same.
No, it's the same, correct.
All right, so revenues then,
The next one is roads.
revenues are
Want to do revenues?
47.
Do you have DA revenues?
Brian, the second one, reimbursement from Suffolk County. S&I,
That one nice.
snow and ice, 12,000 to 24,000.
Yeah. They just,
3,000.
and it's a big check this year.
Yeah,
You don't know what they're gonna do.
budgeted, we anticipated 12,000 last year, we got 33,000.
Mhm.
Okay.
Interest in checking is going up a little. New York State snow and ice aid is going up,
Right, they modified their whole
formulas.
formula, so that's going up.
Everything else is pretty much the same. Okay,
20,000 in that, yeah.
okay, next is page 49, roads. And I think the only personal services here that, is the office workers,
No.
personal services.
Now, there's a whole salary line in there for Rich.
It's like Dave Clark, Brett.
It's only $87,000.
It's only.
It's
Portion.
like portions.
Okay, mhm.
So that's staying the same? Oh, wait, no, we're negotiating, never mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once again, it's fuel.
Fuel is up.
So,
Yeah, do you want to say?
so fuel, right now, this fuel, we're in a whole 16,000, because we just,
This is diesel.
that's diesel. So diesel, we are,
Sorry,
in a
yeah.
whole, one load, which is, that last load was $16,000.
How many more do you anticipate?
Two.
Two? One load was how much?
$16,000.
Oh, boy.
That was based on 378, I believe, was the last load that we paid back in, August. And probably next week, we're due for another one, and another one by the end of the year, because Brett's gonna start grinding here soon.
That's why we gotta get this fuel surcharge going.
Yeah,
All right, so we had, Brian had suggested 67,500, up 22,500. I said 64, based on our percentage, but it looks like the diesel's more than the fuel. So it looks like we really need budget 77,000. Things stay the same.
Well, the good news is if you put in a surcharge, you should
Yeah.
get some of that money back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hopefully you add that into the calculation.
I mean, other people just they raised all their prices. We're looking at fuel surcharge to see what people actually,
Right,
Right.
we're just increasing our increase to them.
exactly.
So-
Because we did a significant, we changed the way we do things at the landfill with the fees, so
Yeah.
it's only fair to, rather than hit them again, just a fuel surcharge.
Because we can
We take it
move that,
off.
right.
Right,
Okay.
okay, so you want to go up to 75? 77,
I'd say 77.
okay. So, the diesel fuel set, go from 64,000 to 77,000.
But then on the revenue side, we
Right.
should make an adjustment.
So we go-
Chips on the bottom, that's,
We're on page 51.
49.
49, so I'm looking at chips, which we allocated 174. First 8 months got in about 81,000, got a balance of 93. Proposed is 159, 160. We're down 15,000. Brian, just explain to the public, the CHIPS money is it's based on the gas tax, isn't it, on the?
Yeah, share factor of your town, roads you have and things like that. And unfortunately,
Is that the fuel that's actually sold on the island?
No.
No. No.
unfortunately, whatever increase we had in chips
Yep.
just went out with increase in fuel.
Yep.
So you really didn't see anything really. You know what I mean?
We're actually going down in the chips.
Expect
Respect to
it's in and
174.
it's out.
Page 6 or one after the other, we're showing it the same way.
Yeah.
Does this have to do with the fact that they dropped the sales tax on fuel for?
That could be.
Maybe,
It might have something to do with it.
but everybody also, county contract, they adjusted the fuel increase.
Right.
So instead of $97 a ton, we're paying $120
Right.
because of the fuel increase.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so if we go to 51, DB,
Well, page 50, we had those,
50, we changed MPA tax.
and social security.
That's Social Security.
Security.
Yeah, we did.
Right, 342.
42 up top, 7702 on the bottom. Social Security.
Did I step away and we already covered 48? Because I know I just had to step away. Did we get
48?
48? I don't know. Yeah. Go back one.
48 is just a summary of the expenditures and revenues for the DA.
Okay. Thank you.
It feeds into the cover sheet, so we just easy summaries.
It's a summary, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now we'll get to page 51. DB revenue. Okay.
Fuel depot.
What is external revenue? That's fire department,
School,
school.
What is that one?
fire department and the school. This one,
Oh, the fuel?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so they,
I guess.
whatever they
Reimburse
use in
us.
fuel, they reimburse us, we put back into the account.
So this is based on the increase. Okay.
Now I have a question. Where is the fuel surcharge? If we put it on, where's that revenue going to go?
Landfill.
Or is that,
Going landfill somewhere.
yeah, because we
With the
haven't,
fees.
we haven't made an adjustment. So if we're
Right.
going to institute it, we should reflect it in here.
We'll have to try to come up with an
Mhm.
estimate of what we think it would be, a projection.
Yeah.
I will do that for Monday. Paving grants, no grants in the works, Brian?
Now, right now,
Okay, CHIPS entitlement, we mentioned is down. Pave New York, that's a new one.
so the the CHIPS entitlement is down, but they gave us these other things. They gave us
Yeah.
Pave New York, the winter recovery back, and then they added a new one, Pave Our Potholes. So we're actually,
So it's
I
$105,000.
like that one. For some reason, it makes me laugh.
Getting a lot more than CHIPS, actually.
right. I guess we had a advocacy day on Zoom with the state legislature.
Yeah.
And there was, I don't know, 100 or so of us on there, maybe more. And then they restored and gave us these other things, came up with these other things, I
It was
guess.
105,000 more than CHIPS.
Right.
Okay.
That's good news.
So now it's just a matter of trying to keep it there.
Yeah. We're getting Corazina to come over and spend it.
Actually, he's coming over next week to finish up
Oh, great.
that little stretch on Donna Rock Road where it's already cut out. And then we're going to finish the stretch from Batters Road to Jasper, that whole stretch right there, and get that water to go into the drains that we redid there.
Nice.
Brian, on Dynarock Road, on the other end, remember what you guys did last year? You raised the road there and it's changed a little bit.
So that's on Country Club Drive.
Yeah.
So we repaved Country Club Drive, and we really didn't know that we changed the pitch of the road just enough where now a couple of people are starting to get flooded out that have never been flooded out before. So I'm looking into some drainage in the area, as well as some berms to get that water to keep going down the road, other dry wells that are down. So unfortunately, we didn't know it at the time until we had these heavy rains. It just changed the pitch of the road just enough where the water went the other way.
That's happened where we.
It's the first time that's happened.
Yeah,
So
but it was significant.
we've talked to all the homeowners there, and we're working with everybody. And we're going to try and rectify the situation.
Okay.
Anything else from Brian?
No, that's it for me.
Anybody have a question? No. Okay, Brian, thank you very
Okay,
much.
thanks.
We'll go over some projections and go on the, you know what, the chief did for his police car was, he went out and just found, somebody had on the
A lot.
lots on it, yeah. So you might want to-
I can,
Yeah, ask him how he did a search,
yeah, okay.
find it,
Yeah,
okay?
better than waiting a year.
Yeah,
So I did get a response yesterday from the DEC on Conley's Creek bulkhead.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
that wasn't a,
It's not a happy one. I want a happy one. Why?
Because they want all kinds of stuff. So I'm gonna work with Joe and Al Loretto to get what they need, what they want, and then we'll kick it back to them. So
This has been a real nightmare.
it is. Well, it's because of the grasses and the wetland area.
Yeah, because it's like an actual wetlands area. It's not just a beach.
so what's the status?
So we gotta redraw it with what they want.
But we did that,
We did. We thought we did
right?
of what they wanted. Now they have new things that they added. So we'll just keep plugging away
Can
at
we
it.
have a meeting with them and, go over,
We'll try.
sounds like one of our applicants. People come, send it back.
So it's just a sensitive area that it's got grasses right in the middle of everything, wetlands on both sides. So
So what are we doing we're expanding the existing bulkhead or,
no,
so what's the big deal?
well, because of the wetlands area, we're actually going to extend bulkhead.
Right.
So with high tide, it won't come in the parking lot and raise it.
Extend it and raise it?
Extend it and raise the parking lot to the bulkhead.
Right.
That way, because with tide rise. I think that's one of the issues, that and then how we're gonna get, because I know the high tide line is above, like 10, 12 feet above the boat ramp.
So should you and Joe have like a preliminary meeting with them, ask them what it is they're looking for?
Well, they explained it pretty good
Okay.
here, so
Okay,
I already got in contact with Al, I emailed Al, I'll get with Joe, we'll get together, we'll get it down on paper, kick it back as soon as we can,
okay,
and we'll go from there.
okay.
So, being that it's almost October, I don't know what to say. I don't know if we're gonna get this done this year or not.
Well, as long
So we're
as
gonna try.
we get it done before next year, would be good, for next year's season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, all right, Brian,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, we have Jack coming in at 11.
Yeah, so we have Jack at 11. I know Coco wants to come in. I don't know if you want to take a
Let's take a
break and then she
Maybe we
can
could
come
do
after
Bethany's
that.
letter then.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Maybe consider Coco on Monday. I'm not sure if we need more time to review this spreadsheet. I don't know.
Okay.
If you want.
Yeah.
Homework.
Always. I am like never done. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't even know.
See what's going on in there.
All right. We'll be here.
I might not come back. That's fine.
Run away.
I don't.
They're tough meetings to sit through.
They're long.
Especially, you seem to be adding opposed to subtracting. When, previous supervisor said, give us, guess we had to take $1 million off to get down to
Oh, goodness.
4%.
Oh.
It was up 16.9% of the budget, which was equivalent to about $1 million. And if we didn't find 200,000 in it in a morning,
Mhm.
the meeting was not fruitful. I mean, we just slash it in.
Okay, let's see.
A little tougher now with these times, especially with the fuel prices and everything else. There's so many
Right?
things that
This bar is huge, Christina.
I know, it's for the long day. Again.
I don't think I can like let it sit here too much longer. It's calling my name. It's like some,
but I'm mostly,
I figured like at 6 people for 12 hours, it's like,
Yeah.
just right.
yeah, exactly. Leave our potholes. I don't know. For some reason, that made me laugh too.
I know, right? Pave our potholes. I mean,
Weird.
okay. Jay, John. Off of this one.
Oh, she's bringing bills to sign.
have agenda for 3 o'clock meeting. But
It's on the town website. It's short. Well, it's a short agenda. It might, hopefully it's short.
okay.
Jay, Sean, John, Wendy, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm taking advantage of you all being
Perfect.
in your seats.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
There were our teeth in our mouth. Let's get going here.
Yeah.
Mike still working full-time on the South, Frank? Senior?
Adult Mike, Big Mike, yes.
Back seems to have gotten better, huh? Yeah, it seems to
I mean, I think it,
come.
comes and goes, yeah.
Yeah. Good.
The bagels on that, but
Yes, I would love a piece of that, thanks. Is this from your mom?
what is it exactly?
Coffee, something,
Oh my God, yeah.
coffee caramel with nuts.
I'll try a little piece.
Break it off.
See, I started something.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have opened it.
no, it was the right choice.
Oh, we lost Julie?
Well, we took a recess to find out,
Yeah, she comes back.
Oh,
or whatever, yeah.
swapping in?
Yes, she had to leave.
Oh.
She'll be back for the next.
Just a session, Jack, going on here. Jack, you have your degree in social work?
For psychology at this point.
I have a minor in psych. I'll teach
I
people
took a
too.
course once.
Don't you know that?
Who was the expert?
Susan Cotta? I took a
No, somebody else. Remember?
Uh, 16. All right, page 16.
Okay, we'll get started again. Detective Sergeant Tilburg is here in his role as the EMS Director. Jack, all yours.
Thank you. So I just wanted to acknowledge a couple of the points of the budget that the supervisor has funded as requested. One is the ALS coverage. Just a quick update on that. Right now, as you know, we are currently providing 12 hours of paramedic coverage to the community, and the budget increase is to extend that to for 24/7. I think that's a wise thing. It's a exceptional program. It's working really well. We've had good reception on all of our calls with them, and I thank you for.
Can you walk us through it a little, Jack? It's 7 days a week. How many people will that entail?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a scheduling thing. They're union workers, so between holiday, vacation, sick, I believe they're estimating 3.5 persons to cover that. Right now, we don't have those 3.5 full-time, so we've had a pool of about 8 paramedics that have been rotating through that, filling the holes, but as we move forward, we'll get more steady. And it's going to look like we'll probably have 3 consecutive people, but they're only going to work a 40-hour work week.
Yeah, right.
So once that maximizes, they'll have to be augmented with
So 8-hour shifts?
12-hour shifts.
There'll be 12-hour shifts?
Yeah, we work at 12 and 12.
Okay.
And then they have, there's other factors that we put into the formula. There's travel time off because we want 12 hours here,
Right.
not 12 hours total. But that number that we worked on with the supervisor will cover that, and that includes the ferrage and a couple of the.
And will there come a time when like Stony Brook, Southampton wants to sit down with you and evaluate the program, or?
Well, we continually evaluate the program. I speak to their
funding half of it, you know.
Yeah, well, the funding for the 23 cycle was discussed, and they committed to that price. I'm sure in the future, moving forward, that we'll have to evaluate that with them, and they might obviously have increases or something, but they held the number for the 23 budget cycle, so we had something to work with.
And Jack, it's 12 hours, 7 to 7, or did you change that?
We're doing 7 to 7, yes, which seems to be well. We did a computer analysis of our calls by time, and the highest probability of calls in our district, in our community, is about 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then if we look at secondary and third timing of calls, probability of calls, the 7 to 7 was the perfect time. And it also works with their scheduling for their work day.
Good. And just again, this is more of a FYI than it is budget. Stony Brook supplies the vehicle that's fully equipped, or?
Yeah, so they're supplying a first response vehicle that's fully equipped with medication, equipment, gas. That's all in the budget that we had negotiated.
I didn't either.
So we have no outside expenses. It's a hard number at 117.5 for 12 hours. And the 241 will include ferrage and some other residual little things that we needed to get. So thank you for that.
Do they, just out of curiosity, Jack, do they go out on all calls? Or
Yes.
They go out on all calls, right?
They go out on all calls, and the paramedic decides if the call warrants advanced technique or procedures. If it does, they institute those proceedings, and then they continue in our ambulance to transport the patient with us. So they become part of our team. They're really part of our team. It's not they're here independently working. They're at our EMS headquarters most of the day, waiting for a call. So they really they basically become part of our team.
And then, Jack, human nature is human nature. How are the volunteers reacting?
We've had very good reception with that. We've had good interaction. Stony Brook kind of cherry picks, if you will, the people that come here, the people that they know work well with volunteers, because we know that that's a fragile transition. And we're very on top of that. We've had very, very good luck so far on calls. I think the volunteers have been thrilled with the medics that we've had. They're very knowledgeable, they're very skilled, and they're willing to talk and teach when they're down at the building. So it's been good so far.
That was my next question. My next question is, during downtime, are they willing to do that? Are they willing?
So there's some, it's on a per person basis, an individual. They're not required to do anything except go to calls. So some people have more of that theory in their work.
Right.
And others are willing to jump in. One of them even wanted to help us wash trucks over the weekend, just to be
Yeah,
part.
they're there, yeah.
So, but there's no expectation to have that. That's just the plus with some of the personalities that we've been getting.
Great. Good. Okay.
So the only thing, Supervisor, that I have is the food. I had put in for a $2,000 increase in the budget, and you cut that down. And I just want to make sure that you understand that that's not just food for monthly meetings and for light supplies that they keep around. That also funds the annual awards dinner. And it's my expectation that we're not going to be getting that for the same rate that we've been getting it in the future. And I think that we need to allow some flexibility to fund that in the future. The price that we get it for transferring over from the Pridwin days, it was held by Gardner's Bay to accommodate us, but I don't know that that's going to be not more money in the future. They've really been giving us a big gift with that. So that's why I put the 2,000 into, we need that awards dinner, recognizes the volunteers. We all know that. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. And I just didn't want to have to come ask you for extra money because we didn't budget for it. I expect it's going to be more money.
I think if you saw when I presented the whole budget, I kind of put a footnote there that, it's very hard to say no to the EMS for all they do, but this is what I'm proposing. Well, we can certainly change it.
Okay. And the only other adjustment that I saw, and again, it's minor, but minor becomes problematic for me when I can't fund it, is the travel and meetings. So that's kind of a broad term. That's really used to pay for the volunteers going to training because we don't have a training line. I try to help compensate them with mileage reimbursement only for the annual trip, which this year is in Albany. This year we have 6 people attending that, between tuition, lodging, food, meals, and some other expenses. It's close to $10,000 just to do that. But what that gives us is 6 people are able to recertify for the year. So rather than us paying for them to go all over Long Island, and try to plug that into their schedule. So, I don't want to fall short on that as well. I asked for another 1,000 because my anticipation is that travel alone is going to eat up that, ferrage is going up. You pay for ferrage.
Jack, on that one,
People thinking that.
again, the reason I kept it the same was going on, year to date, but I don't know if that's an accurate number.
Well, the reason it might not be, it is accurate to date, but the conference is the end of October. So the big expense is coming, so far I expect that's going to be about $8,000 right now.
And again, we're trying to tighten the budget everywhere we can. This is probably the one place we shouldn't touch it at all because it is all volunteer and providing the most important service to the island.
I would support that, by the way. I think that in this particular instance where you're sending 6 people to Albany for worthwhile training, and that hasn't been factored in yet, I think we should keep it at 11,000.
Yeah. And then the other thing was the utilities line. Jack, you had proposed 15,000 and Jerry, you came in with 12.
Which one, I'm sorry?
Utilities?
Yeah, that's, again, based on,
So I'm not overly up on that. I can't predict the utility. I know that we've had a dramatic increase. Just so the other board members that aren't aware, my ambulance budget pays for my building. We pay our own gas, we pay our own electric. That's not what happens in the other town buildings and departments. So I'm trying to put a little flexibility in there because I know we had a dramatic increase in electric and fuel this year. And I don't know how that, through economics, how that breaks down and comes back or stays at that, but I'm trying to cover it. We're probably going to be a little short in our utilities this year.
Yeah, you're already over.
Right.
I tried to, extrapolate where we are and what, to the end of the year.
Okay.
So going from 8,000 to 12,000, Jack wanted to go to 15,000 to play it safe.
13 would probably be
Yeah,
a
we can, yeah.
more accurate number.
Okay.
Let's say 13,000.
And then medical supplies, you had 13 and Jerry's got 12.
Right, so
I mean, you're already.
we budgeted 12,000 last year. And again, if you go by the budget, and I understand that process of where we are today and what we expended.
You're already over.
I might operate my department a little bit differently. I try not to expend the supplies that stock us till the end of the year. In the instance that we had some type of an incident that cost us money, we had 15, 20 people hurt or something like that. I need those funds, so I try to hold on to the end of the year. So we will be expending those balances in the next couple months, but I try to hold on to that money on the front end in case we need it for an unpredicted emergency that we have funds for.
Well, you've already exceeded that budget.
Right. And what I will tell you is that I see usually a 4 to 7% increase in medical supplies annually. That's why I put the little bit extra on there to accommodate that. Or we run about 300 calls a year, give or take 10 either side. So I know about what we need. These are pretty actual numbers. And I would have to say it's at least 4 to 7% increase that the medical supplies will cost us next year. So that's.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go,
Put that back to 13.
we're gonna go, let's start with the food is going up to 10,000. The utilities are going to 13. Medical supplies are going to 13. And travel and meetings is going to 11.
All right, I have one more. What's communication? Why is that? There's a $5,000 difference there. So Jack, you have 20, Jerry, you've got 15. Do you guys have to upgrade your radios as well?
So if in fact the capital project comes through, that we're going to upgrade our radios for the next 3 years, I'm expecting, we have about 30 radios that we have to do, 5,000 a year. If we do 10 a year over the next 3 years and spread it over 3 years, that would work. That's why I really didn't have any argument on the supervisor's reduction of that.
And it's in the, I thought it was in capital. That's why I was, okay.
If it doesn't make capital, I'll need that.
No, it's in.
It's in
It has to
capital.
get done this year.
Yeah.
It's in capital 5.
I was just wondering why there was that $5,000 discrepancy if you
Yeah.
had planned for something that was.
Yep, that's exactly it.
And Jack, what about the
Bless you.
notes on the bottom, uniform and equipment for members?
Oh, yeah.
So the only thing, Supervisor, that this budget, your budget proposal doesn't reflect is I had proposed that the town consider one of the 2 programs that we have community funding for. The foundation currently sponsors 2 programs. One is what we call uniform and equipment, which we actually have in many departments for our employees. We don't have that in the volunteers. They're out on calls. They destroy their own personal clothes, have to replace things. The foundation came up with some monies. I developed a concept for money allotment, and we do it by percentage of responses. So in the past, if you went on 10% of the calls, we would give you $250 in uniform money. And then that graduated up, 20% was $350 and up. So obviously, the more you go out on calls, the more likely you are that you'll need equipment replaced. So that costs us, we've been doing that at least probably 3 or 4 years with the foundation funding it. It's always around $6,500. It's a pretty solid number. It's based on the last year's responses by the member. And then the second program is a program that we developed with the foundation last year. Instead of Christmas gifts or other types of incidentals, with the price of fuel, people are expending as a volunteer their own car, their own fuel, and we felt it was important to help them with those resources so they weren't choosing between going on a call and should we really be putting this into the family budget right now. So we used the same scale. 10% got them the equivalent of $250. We converted that to the mileage, what the town pays for the mileage rate, and we paid the volunteers where we reimbursed them for mileage based upon how many calls they went on. And coincidentally, when you do the numbers and the math, it's somewhere the $250 at 10% of the calls is averaged at, I believe, somewhere around 7 or so miles, which is about what somebody does here. If you think at any given place, you're going at least 3 miles, 3.5 out, 3.5 back. So it was a very fair program, conservative but fair, to help people with fuel and expenses to be a volunteer.
So just so I understand, Jack, right now, the foundation's paying about $13,000.
Yes, and my proposal was that the town pay one of them to show some good faith, because I know that's always a question is, should the foundation or other people be funding a town thing?
Right.
And I think it's just a good show of support that we consider funding one of those.
So like you said, we do have uniform allowance and equipment for other departments. So, again, this is one of those ones, it's very hard to say no to this, this budget group. I mean, 6 or 1 half the other, I don't, which one, any thoughts on whether we should do? I mean, I think we should do it.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing I said at the advisory meeting the other day was that in addition to, I think we should reimburse volunteers for things that they're expending, breaking their glasses or whatever it is on a call. If you also notice lately in the last year or so, when they've been at some of the COVID things or the parades, they look like $1 million. They look like a team, and this equipment is funding that.
Yeah.
They have
Very professional.
Yeah, and I'm of the opinion that in EMS or any of these occupations, you are a lot of what you look like.
Yeah.
And image is a big part of it, and they're very proud right now of what they're doing and accomplishing. And I think it's something the town should consider supporting.
I'm in support of picking up one of the two, whichever one the board feels more comfortable with, mileage.
I'd feel more comfortable, I think,
With uniform and
with uniform and equipment, because we do it for other departments, We have to add a line for that.
Just out of curiosity, Jack, on recruiting of new AMS, can you fill the board in on how that's progressing, or what's the current strength and what's?
So we currently have, I believe, 36 volunteers. We're down a couple, but they weren't viable candidates. They signed up, didn't realize the commitment, didn't work out. But 36 strong, we used to try to get 24, hold on to 24. So we're very strong right now. I don't have an actual number of how many of those are EMTs or state certified, but we have probably our highest amount of EMTs ever right now. We probably have, if I had to guess, 17 or so EMTs, which is a very strong number for us. We have one of those EMTs is made a commitment and has been accepted into paramedic school. So we're going to use, I reported at the advisory meeting, We're going to use, we have a capital education account. We're going to utilize, and that's exactly what that money was put in there for, to pay tuition, which initially was around $10,000. The student received a grant through the hospital corporation, and for just under $5,000, we're going to be able to financially support him going to paramedic school. So.
And what's the time on that? How long is that?
It's about a year. So I believe he started might have already just started. So he won't be ready for another year, but that's all something in the works. So that's one of our recruitment things. We have a recruitment and retention committee that monthly evaluates, where we're at. We have a great amount of young people, which we've never been able to tap into before. And that seems to be spreading because now that we have the young population in our group, more are looking to come in, as well as seniors and retired people. So we have a great mix of people. But we're not hurting for people. We're doing very well right now.
Jack, with the education and training of this particular, is the goal hopefully that he'll become an EM and he'll stay here as one part of our paid?
Well, that's our wish. I don't know if that's the goal of him. He's continuing his education. I haven't gotten together with the town attorney, but in the past, we've had just a gentleman's agreement with people on what our expectations were. I want to formalize that a little bit because it hasn't worked out so much in the past. If we commit financially, the talks that I'm having with him is my expectation is at least 2 years of volunteering in our community for that. So we're going to have some checks and balances, but that's going to be a great addition.
That's great.
Yeah. I don't think I know who that young man is, but okay.
Anything else? Amber, you good?
I'm good.
Good. BJ, any questions? Okay.
So Supervisor, I just wanted to go over, because I'm not sure where we stand with the capital, if those are in stone or not.
Page 54.
I see that you left in what we had proposed, and I thank you for that support. Just 3 quick little items. The garage expansion. We are not looking to expand the building other than some frontal footage to get around the vehicle. When the doors are shut, you physically can't get around. And in the winter and in the summer, now that we're air conditioned, that has some value to being able to work around the vehicle. We restock. Sometimes they're there for an hour or so after a call, getting things back in service. We utilize the town engineer to help us come up with a plan. We have tapped into some of the building department expertise. And we're looking at, I believe it's a 3 or 4 foot frontal expansion just so we can get around the trucks.
Right.
So that's what that number is for. The second item, which is a power lift stretcher. So the new ambulance that we bought, we purchased that in the new ambulance. It's worked out really well. It's really a way of preventing back injuries and lifting injuries. It's well worth its money. The volunteers are very much looking to put that in the 2 trucks that don't have it. That number, and I talked to Amber about it a little bit. I wasn't sure if that is a good number. I checked with our vendor. If we don't utilize the purchase in the next several months or before the end of the year, there's at least a 12 to 20% increase that's going to be on that. So there was another number that I was looking at, but they've committed this to us if we get it in 2023. So that's a good number for that. And the radio expansion, like I said, you need a volunteer to get on it. This basic stuff needs to get on a call. We have radios. Some of them are 15 plus years old. It's just time to start replacing the old. I don't think we need to do all of the radios at once. That's why I proposed 10 a year for the next 3 years. And that'll replace 30 of the units at $5,000 a year. So if we could capital plan for that over 3 years as this reflects, that would definitely work. That's all I had on capital.
Power lift stretcher.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, I did, and that 30 is a good number. I was mistaken. If we don't purchase it in the next few months, it's going to go up to 34,000.
And Jack, is that one of those
I didn't
things?
get shopping.
Order it and you wait just to get it, or the?
No, actually, they're in stock, and they're going to, the stretcher itself will be ours. It has to be upgraded, and then the lift part is all new, but they have them readily available.
Great. Okay.
I think what happened was the vendor knew of this big increase, and he purchased several of them, knowing that there would be agencies that would be utilizing it. So we're kind of been flagged for one of them. So.
And Jack, I guess the major fundraiser is the cricket tournament?
Well, I don't know if that's the major one anymore. We didn't do so well at that this year, but that was an organizational issue. It kind of has transformed from a group of people that were doing the event and raising money for us. And that's kind of, I don't understand the dynamics of it, but that has didn't happen this year. And the foundation has taken over running the cricket match. So it's going to take us a year or so to get back on track with understanding that structure. But so we didn't make so much money out of that this year. In the past, we've gotten 15, 17,000 that the foundation gives us to purchase some type of equipment outside of budget, for budget. So we will have that this year.
When you put the mailings out, Jack, to the public, you do an annual mailing, right?
So the foundation does, I'm not part of that, but the foundation does.
What kind of response do we get back on it? You have any idea?
I don't.
Is that it? The mailing is the major fundraiser?
I would believe that the mailing and calls. When we go out on a call, we typically see some type of response from the family.
What I would recommend
Or bequests.
is work together on that mailing so that we know when the mailing's going out. We as a town board can kind of play up the EMS, for several meetings prior to, with some facts and figures and things like that to kind of get people in the mood to support the EMS. Because the way I look at it, my age group, it's a life insurance policy, quite honestly, in any age group, but it's something that when you think about donations, especially towards the end of the year and you're writing checks to everybody, EMS is something that, be foolish not to.
That's a great idea. I will bring it back to the foundation. Like I said, I specifically stay out of fundraising. I'm on the town side of the table with that, but as we all know, they substantially augment and cover funding.
To the point where, Jack, we had discussed probably 2 years ago, looking into insurance companies and charging for those that had insurance for ambulance calls. And after discussion, we felt that it might hurt donations in the long run. So, it would have been penny wise and dollar foolish.
Correct. That was our analysis of that, for the amount of billing that we would funding we would get from billing. The foundation was concerned that would completely impact donating base.
Yeah, I think you have a good system now, the way it works. But we would be more than happy, I would personally be more than happy to help you, get a message out for a couple of weeks.
That's great.
Prior to that mailing.
I can tell you the target time frame is during EMS week, which is that last week in May usually.
Okay.
So the fund drive is already done, as I know it. It's out.
Okay.
And they're benefiting from that now. So next spring, I will have to make sure they plug you into that.
And what's the date of your dinner?
October 5th, Wednesday night. Is the 5th of Wednesday?
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
6 p.m.
Already got it on my calendar.
RSVP, Mary Brownie.
Anything else for Jack? Jack, thank you very much. And again, thank everybody for all you guys do.
The only thing else I wanted to address the salary and the longevity. And I was going to request an executive session to discuss the employment history on that.
Okay, let's do that.
Well, we don't have anybody else coming in today. We could do it now since Jack is here.
We'll end the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Anything else we need to do before we close the budget?
No.
No, we just will reconvene on Monday. We have, we don't,
No, nobody's coming. I think we're just gonna address,
we've got some.
all the notes with Coco and,
Emily.
Recreation Department. Yeah. And all the issues, all the things we wrote notes on that we need to go back and look at,
Yes.
that we didn't commit to anything. Okay,
Do we want to say 9:30 instead of 9?
yes, please.
We're still going to end at noon, right? Because I got to go to.
Yes.
Yes, and since we also seem to be having trouble getting here like minutes before 9 and starting the meeting at 8, let's spare everybody.
Okay, and we do have a work session today at 3, and then a town board meeting at 6.
Yes.
All right, thanks, everybody.